TIFU by taking my daughter's ADHD medicine at 9:30 p.m. I'm 40F. Currently on a road trip with my daughter. 9F. We arrived at a random hotel last night about 9 p.m. and shortly after started getting ready for bed. My daughter has ADHD and takes Vyvanse. Well, somehow when I went to take my nighttime med I accidentally grabbed her 20 mg Vyvanse as opposed to my Doxepin, and then took 2. It took me a few hours to piece it together. I was laying awake so anxious and grinding my teeth. It was an awful night. But at least I get to drive for 6 hours later. We may need to pull over at some point for sure. I take driving safety very seriously. Currently, I'm still buzzing from the meds. Glad the grandparents are on the other end of this drive so I can hopefully nap. Definitely a big foo. TLDR. Took my kids Vyvanse at 9:30 p.m. instead of my own nighttime med. Have a 6-hour drive ahead of us. Vyvanse stays in your system for a while. Like 1,214 hours. So it might keep you awake for your drive, haha. Best course of action is to the trucker's method. Take a other at 6 a.m. and hit the road and drive for 16 hours straight. Be aware that ADHD medication may influence your ability to drive, especially with such a high dose for someone that isn't used to it. It doesn't have to be a problem. Some people with ADHD even say they can drive better. Just a heads up. Combining that with a short night's rest, it could be potentially dangerous. So if you decide to drive, make sure to evaluate your ability to drive. Good luck and stay safe. I have done the same thing with my own Vyvanse. I meant to take a nighttime prescription that makes me drowsy. It was dark, and I reached in my bag and grabbed the wrong bottle. Both drugs are similar-sized, colored capsules. Ended up staying up all night. Oops. I always look at the bottle now. Make sure to stay hydrated and eat something. Even if you're not hungry. The crash will not be as bad if your body has fuel. I did this once with both my kids' Concerta. But I was hungover so it actually made me feel great, lol. I had 2 ibuprofen in one hand and their meds in the other. And tossed the wrong hand into my mouth. I painted my bedroom furniture. You're going to have 1,014 hours. Probably 14 hours of this and it's going to be a crash at the end. Probably pretty steep because you didn't sleep tonight. Have caffeine ready to cushion the fall and avoid just zonking out. You're going to be in for a not fun day. Don't be afraid to pull over at a rest stop and grab 3,060 minutes of sleep. Better that than crashing. My daughter and I take Adderall and one day she took one of my 30 milligrams instead of her 10 milligrams by mistake. I swear her eyes were vibrating. https en.m.wikipedia.org/wiki/listdexamphetamine. As someone who grew up with a parent abusing my ADD medication, please avoid taking another. Stay safe.
!GIF.
This is funny. I take both Vyvanse and Doxepin and made the reverse mistake. I was barely holding on at work. If I didn't live close enough to walk, I'd have had to use a sick day. Maybe you ought to just stay off the road for another day to be safe. Moot worth risking your daughter and everyone else in the road as well as yourself. Way too late for this, but sometimes if you have grapefruit, orange juice and magnesium it may help. The medication pass through more quickly. Godspeed, op. Watch out for the crash at the end, you might feel cranky. Surprised you can get Vyvanse, they stopped that in the UK, sad face. Been there, done that. My boyfriend and I use medication dispensers for meds and supplements. It has 4 compartments per day, but we only do morning and evening meds. So I just use the top 2 rows for 1 week and the bottom 2 for the other week. I was super tired one day and accidentally grabbed the wrong dispenser, where my boyfriend had already taken his evening meds. So I took the next dose, his morning meds, which included 40 milligrams of Ritalin and 100 milligrams caffeine. I was on the phone with urgent care because I don't take Ritalin and had crazy heart palpitations. The nurse just laughed, told me I'd be fine but not to expect much sleep that night. She was right, so, Godspeed to you. I take 20 milligrams Adderall XR in the morning and melatonin at night. The bottles are about the same size, shape and color. And I have ADHD. I've accidentally taken the melatonin in the morning. Surprisingly no big deal, but have fortunately stopped myself from taking the Adderall at night. Even coffee after 3 p.m. and I'm up half the night. Daughter is gonna be too short for the month. I use Vyvanse. You'll also might get spikes of anxiety and anger. And ignore how hangry you are. On the bright side, you might drive like in a video with intense focus. That's a joke. You won't. Just be careful. Vyvanse crash can make you kinda depressed. The good news is, you were definitely alert for the drive and like for the 20-hour period afterwards.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.